Good girl, Tashma. So she pulls ahead a little bit. Just give a light tug back. And once she's walking around with a loose leash, you can start counting your steps. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good girl. Tashma. Look at you. Sit. Good girl. You can come to a stop and give her a cookie, or you can give her a cookie mid-walk. If you really want to work on less distractions during your walk, find a secluded street and practice just walking patiently next to you. Good girl. Tashma. There you go. Just practice walking patiently next to you. And then you slowly start walking closer and closer to roads and such. Good girl. Tashma, sit. Over here. And practicing. Come here. Automatic sits if you come to a stop. Alright, let's go. Good girl. I know there's people. Tashma. There you go. Small little tug back if she does. Just a little tug to make it consistent. Because if she wants to avoid that tug back, she needs to walk on a loose leash. So that tug, by definition, is her punisher. So if she wants to, and it's on her to really tell us if it's a punisher or not. If the behavior does not decrease, then it is not a punisher. It's just a small inconvenience. So if you come to a stop, she should go into an SIT. And when she does, good girl. You're there to reinforce her. This behavior will become better and better as you practice this. Alright, I know you dropped that one. Let's go. If you're against walking on the street due to traffic and such, you can sandwich her this way. So if she's near the grass and you're on the street. Good girl. Yeah. And if we come to a stop, if you want her to have more of a sit next to you, Tashma, let's go. Good girl. Work on holding the treat up high next to you. Tashma. There you go. Tashma, sit. Good girl. So all those times I'm holding the treat a little bit right above her head. Sit. That time I did not hold the treat at all. Those treats were in my pocket. Tashma. You can see she still kind of starts to kick out. And that's just because she has had a lot of practice of sitting in front of you rather than sitting next to you. So she just needs to know that sitting next to you is also a possibility. Good girl. So your criteria for giving her a treat is a loose leash, as loose as it is now, and after hitting a certain amount of steps. So if she hits a certain amount of steps on that loose leash, she gets a treat. And you're keeping count, so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So because she pulled, we'll start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, another pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good girl. Now I'll talk to her and get her attention. Tashmi. Good girl. There you go. I'm also giving her treats relatively in the same location right next to me. The treats do not come to her, she comes to the treats, and inevitably she will start to walk closer to where the treats always appear. But these are competing reinforcers. Good girl. Tashmi. Competing reinforcers in the sense of exploring her environment and the reward that she's getting from you. Sometimes it's a lot more rewarding to smell that smell than work for the treat. Now, you could always increase your treat value, and you may find that she's paying more attention to you than the environment. So that's a barky dog in the house. Good girl. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good girl. So my criteria right now is anywhere between 5 and 10. And as she gets better, it may then become 10 and 15, 15 and 20. And I'll still throw in some easy ones. So a treat, a walk count can be, a treat at 15 steps, 12 steps, 10 steps, 16 steps, and then an easy 5-step, things like that. So we see a dog in the distance. We'll see how she does. Good girl. Tashmi. There we go. Tashmi, sit. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Tashmi. Right here. Tashmi, let's go. Good girl. Yeah, there you go. Oh, dropped a few. So, at the beginning, when crossing dogs, think of it at level 1 would be that you reward her for staying with you in a sit, like she just did, and keep rewarding her as the dogs pass by. I stopped and you saw that she ended up pulling to go and sniff that dog. So once that dog fully leaves and you re-engage her in a walk to keep going forward, that's when you should start to decrease your treats. But at the beginning, so it looks something like this. Tashmi, sit. So as the dogs are approaching, she's getting a treat for looking at the dog. What's over there? What's over there? Looking at the trees. So if the dog now were to pass us by, so now the dog is, on the other side of the street, she's still getting treats. And then before she disengages with you, you go, all right, Tashmi, let's go. You talk to her, and then another treat, and then you can start walking again and counting your steps. Then, as she becomes better and better at that, then you can work on level 2, which would be walk by passing other dogs. So as you're walking, she would see another dog. Good girl. There we go. Good girl, Tash. Good girl. Yeah, you. Yeah. So, walking by other dogs will be very similar with the sit, but rather than giving her treats for sitting and seeing another dog, you'd be giving her treats as she's walking by. So it looked very similar to your walking and treating her, but the frequency of getting treats would increase. Let's go, sweets. So, and then it's all up to you on what type of walk do you want. If you want a from point A to point B walk, I would not give her this much leash to allow her to go onto the snow and or grass. She would have to be really by my side, and the amount of leash I would give her would be maybe this much from my hand to her. So she doesn't even have the opportunity to go onto the grass and getting distracted. But what end up happening is that you keep reinforcing her for walking next to you, and over time you start to loosen up on the leash, giving her more and more. But right now, since the leash is very tight, she's still not really getting anything. Only when the leash becomes loose, when I start to count my steps and start giving her treats again. In very distracting environments, you would have a lower step criteria. So let's say new environments, maybe, well, let's say if around your neighborhood you ended up getting between 15 and 20 steps. If you go into a new neighborhood or into town or things like that, and it's a brand new environment that she hasn't really practiced, you know, cut your criteria in half. So you're up between 15 and 20, maybe cut it back down to 5 and 10 and work up to 15 and 20. Your buddies are waiting for you. There you go. Alright, let's go see your friends.